thank you, Michael. I do have one question for you, Michael. So how do you recommend organizations go about acting on some of the changes that you're recommending? It can be quite challenging at those companies.
Yeah, it's a great question. And as I mentioned, we have quite a few engagements with our clients at various stages of, if you will, maturity along that journey. And what winds up happening is we wind up talking to them and understanding where they are and what they want to achieve. So the first thing is what you want to achieve, and a lot of that has to do with what business you're in. Right. So if you're in the defense industrial base and you're building, nose cones for rockets or what have you, right, there's one part of the journey because you might have some particular drivers. But the short answer to your question is crawl, walk, run. OK, start with some ways that get you one step closer to success. So as an example, I talked a little bit about data labeling. A lot of our customers don't have data labeling right off the bat, right? Some of them do, or some of them have done it in certain areas, but they don't have this universal process. So instead of saying, well, I can't possibly protect my data or collaborate externally without having all my data labeled, you can take some creative ways of like saying, okay, if I want to share out of a SharePoint site, I can make some assumptions about what's in this SharePoint site and apply the appropriate policies to that, which gets you one step closer to being able to do this at scale without having to put these giant blockers in your way.
Fantastic. And real quick, one more. We're getting more and more video. We're doing more and more things with larger files. And transactions, piece of cake. Large files. What's the best practice?
So what's interesting, and again, I don't want this to be an eShare commercial, right? So it's one of the ways, right, is that if the premise of a modern link-based environment, right, is that the data doesn't have to move in order for the information to be shared. Okay, so if you can have a video file, a huge file, whether it's a video file or what have you, if you can have people consume that data by accessing it where it sits instead of having to upload it to another location, right, then you've achieved the result that you want. Like in particular in a video, for example, when you're uploading a file, you're now in your upload bandwidth, which a huge percentage of people in the world have a lower upload bandwidth than download bandwidth. And that creates a problem when you're trying to upload these huge files. But if the file's sitting in your environment and you can share it in a way that people understand and you have control and visibility as to what that access is, you don't ever have to move it to share it. So the concept is share the information, don't move the data. Okay, so that's the biggest way of attacking big files.
That's great. So Michael, thank you so much. Your expertise, fantastic. I gained a lot from this, and hopefully everybody else did as well.